All right, let's unpack this fascinating topic.
Oh, yeah.
Jealousy.
Jealousy.
We've got excerpts from a 2018 research article by Chung and Harris.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it really digs deep into the evolution, function, and psychology behind this powerful emotion.
Definitely.
You might think you know jealousy, but
Yeah.
trust me.
Yeah.
This deep dive is going to reveal just how intricate and nuanced
Oh, yeah.
it really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Many people might be surprised to learn that jealousy is considered a specific emotion with its own unique motivational purpose, much like fear or anger.
It's not just some random feeling, then.
Right.
There's a real evolutionary reason we experience it.
Precisely. And what's even more fascinating is how jealousy unfolds over time.
Okay.
It's a dynamic process with early and late phases, influenced by individual differences and the dynamics of the relationship itself.
Okay.
This is where the dynamic functional model of jealousy, or DFMJ, comes in. It helps us understand how jealousy can help protect relationships and isn't always a negative force.
Okay. I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty of the DFMJ, let's rewind a bit.
Okay.
Where does jealousy even come from? Is it something we're born with, or do we learn it along the way?
Well, jealousy's been around for ages.
Oh, wow.
We see it depicted in ancient texts, myths, and even woven into legal systems throughout history.
Really?
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
We often think of jealousy as a complex human emotion.
Right.
But there's evidence of a core form of jealousy present in babies.
What?
And even animals.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Babies get jealous.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Think about it this way.
Okay.
This core jealousy is triggered by the simple perception that a rival is getting attention from someone we love.
Okay.
Remember those videos of dogs getting jealous when their owners show affection to a stuffed animal?
Oh, yeah. Those videos are hilarious.
Yeah.
But also kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
The dogs really seem distressed.
Exactly. That's core jealousy in action.
Oh, wow.
They exhibit behaviors like aggression toward the perceived rival and try to get between their owner and the stuffed animal.
Wow.
Researchers believe this basic form of jealousy is the foundation for the more complex jealousy we experience as adults.
So in a way, we're hardwired for jealousy from the very beginning.
Yeah.
That's a bit mind-blowing.
It is pretty amazing.
But it also makes me wonder how this simple core jealousy transforms into the complex emotions we grapple with as adults.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
As we develop, our jealousy evolves from a basic reaction to a more nuanced process.
Okay.
It starts to involve self-awareness and our interpretation of social cues. This is what researchers refer to as elaborated jealousy.
So it's not just about feeling threatened, but also about understanding the social dynamics of the situation.
Exactly.
Okay.
For instance, children over 4 years old show more jealousy when their mother pays attention to a similar-aged peer compared to a baby.
Okay.
This suggests they understand rivals and social dynamics on a deeper level.
Oh.
They're not just reacting to a loss of attention, but to a potential threat to their social standing.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So as we mature, jealousy becomes less about basic needs and more about our self-esteem and social relationships.
You got it.
Okay.
This is where the DFMJ really shines in helping us understand the complexities of jealousy.
Oh, okay.
As we mentioned earlier, it highlights how jealousy unfolds in phases,
Right.
influenced by individual differences and the dynamics of the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really curious to unpack these different phases.
Okay.
What actually happens in the early and late stages of jealousy?
In the early phase, it's all about threat assessment.
Yeah, okay.
You're essentially asking yourself, is this person a real rival?
Yeah.
Are they actually a threat to my relationship?
Right.
Factors like your attachment style and personality can significantly influence how sensitive you are to potential rivals in the first place.
So some people might be quick to jump to conclusions and feel jealous easily,
Yeah.
while others might be more laid back.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then we move to the late phase, which is about how you react once you've identified a potential threat.
Okay.
This is where the fireworks can really start.
Oh, boy.
Do you get angry, sad, withdrawn? Do you confront your partner, try to improve the relationship,
Right.
or perhaps resort to some less than healthy behaviors like surveillance?
Wow. There's a whole spectrum of reactions.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like the DFMJ is really helpful in understanding why people react in such diverse ways to jealousy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It emphasizes that it's not just about the intensity of your feelings,
Right.
but also about how your personal experiences and relationship dynamics shape your response.
Okay, so we've talked about the phases of jealousy.
Right.
And how our individual personalities play a role. But you mentioned attachment style earlier.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on how our attachment style influences the jealousy experience?
You bet.
Okay.
The way we form attachments early in life can have a profound impact on how we experience jealousy in our adult relationships.
Interesting.
Let's start with anxious attachment.
Okay.
Individuals with this style tend to feel more threatened by rivals
Okay.
and experience more intense negative emotions when jealousy strikes.
So they might be more prone to those dramatic, over-the-top reactions we often associate with jealousy.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Interestingly, though, they're often less likely to openly confront their partner and might instead resort to surveillance.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They might be more afraid of pushing their partner away by directly addressing their concerns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, on the other side of the spectrum, we have secure attachment.
Okay.
People with this style often report less intense jealousy,
Mm-hmm.
and when they do feel it, they're more likely to use their anger constructively to try and strengthen the relationship.
So they might actually communicate their feelings to their partner and try to work things out together.
You nailed it.
Okay.
And finally, we have avoidant attachment.
Correct.
This group might appear less jealous on the surface, but that doesn't mean they're immune to it.
So what happens when someone with an avoidant attachment style feels jealous?
They tend to withdraw and avoid directly dealing with the issue, which can be problematic in the long run.
Yeah.
They might bottle up their feelings and pretend everything is fine, but that can lead to resentment and distance in the relationship.
Right.
The takeaway here is that our early attachment experiences can have a lasting impact on how we perceive and react to jealousy in our adult relationships.
Yeah.
A powerful force.
This is all so insightful. It really makes you think about how our past experiences can shape our emotions in ways we might not even realize.
Absolutely. And this understanding can be incredibly empowering.
Okay.
It allows us to start recognizing those patterns and develop healthier ways of coping with jealousy.
So if someone listening to this is realizing they might have an anxious or avoidant attachment style, is there anything they can do to change those patterns?
There are definitely things you can do.
Okay.
There are a lot of great resources out there like books,
Mm-hmm.
therapy, and even online courses that can help you understand and work through your attachment pattern.
Right.
It's all about becoming more self-aware and developing healthier coping mechanisms for dealing with those tricky emotions.
That's really helpful.
Yeah,
So we've covered a lot of ground here,
we have.
from the evolutionary roots of jealousy to the impact of our attachment styles. But I'm curious, are there other factors besides attachment that can influence how we experience and express jealousy?
Definitely.
Okay.
Remember, it's not just about how intensely you feel jealous,
Right.
but also about what you do with those feelings.
Okay.
Jealousy can motivate a whole range of behaviors,
Right.
and this is where things get really interesting.
Okay. I'm all ears.
All right.
Tell me more.
Well, research shows that certain relationship factors like satisfaction and commitment can actually lead to more intense feelings of jealousy when a betrayal happens. But here's the kicker.
Okay.
Those same factors are also associated with more constructive behaviors to address the situation.
Wait, so you're saying if you're really happy and committed in a relationship, you might feel more jealous if your partner betrays you?
Yeah.
That seems counterintuitive.
It might seem that way at first, but it makes sense when you think about it.
Okay.
If you're deeply invested in a relationship, a betrayal can cut deeper, leading to more intense feelings of hurt and jealousy. However, that same investment can also fuel a desire to work things out, to fight for something precious.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing to experience the strong feelings of jealousy.
Right.
It could actually be a sign that you genuinely care about the relationship.
Exactly.
Okay.
It can be a powerful motivator to protect and preserve something you value.
Yeah.
Of course, it's all about how you channel those jealous feelings. This is where the DFMJ can provide some really helpful insights.
Right. We talked about the early and late phases. So how does the DFMJ explain how those phases relate to constructive responses to jealousy?
Well, remember, the early phase is all about threat assessment. Figuring out if there's a real threat to your relationship.
Right.
The late phase is about how you react to that perceived threat.
Yeah.
The DFMJ suggests that the intensity of your jealous feelings isn't the only thing that matters.
Okay.
It's how you translate those feelings into action that truly counts.
So it's not just about feeling jealous.
Right.
It's about what you do with that jealousy.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But how do we ensure our actions are constructive and not destructive when dealing with those powerful emotions?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Research has shown that people in satisfying, committed relationships tend to respond to jealousy in healthier ways. Instead of lashing out, withdrawing, or engaging in destructive behaviors, they use it as an opportunity to communicate with their partner, to address underlying issues, and ultimately strengthen the relationship.
That's a really encouraging takeaway.
It is.
It means jealousy doesn't have to be this destructive force that tears couples apart.
Right.
Instead, it can actually bring them closer together.
Precisely.
Wow.
When you're in a healthy relationship and you experience jealousy, you're more likely to view it as a wake-up call.
Yeah.
A chance to reaffirm your commitment to each other and work through any challenges that may have surfaced.
So instead of always being afraid of jealousy, we can actually see it as a potential catalyst for positive change, both within ourselves and within our relationships.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what's so groundbreaking about the DFMJ.
Okay.
It doesn't paint jealousy as this inherently negative, villainous emotion.
Right.
It acknowledges its complexity, its potential for both darkness and light. It helps us understand that jealousy is a normal human experience, one that can actually contribute to deeper connection and stronger relationships.
This deep dive has been incredibly eye-opening.
Oh, good.
I feel like I'm finally starting to see jealousy in a whole new light.
That's fantastic to hear.
Yeah.
And that's the power of really delving into a topic like this. It allows us to challenge our preconceived notions and understand things on a deeper level.
Right.
When it comes to something as universal and complex as jealousy, that new perspective can be incredibly valuable.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's like we've peeled back the layers of this emotion and discovered a whole new world of understanding.
Exactly.
Yep.
And with this new understanding, we can navigate the complexities of our relationships with more wisdom, empathy, and compassion.
Okay, before we wrap things up, I want to pose a question to our listeners.
Okay.
We spent a lot of time talking about how individual experiences and relationship dynamics shape our reactions to jealousy.
Right.
But what about the role of society? How do cultural norms and expectations influence how we perceive and express jealousy?
What do you think?
That's such an important question.
Yeah.
It's something we could all benefit from exploring further. We've been focusing on the individual and relational aspects of jealousy.
Right.
But you're right, we don't exist in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Our social and cultural environments play a huge role in shaping our beliefs and behaviors.
Right.
And that definitely includes how we experience and express jealousy.
So are you saying there's this whole other layer of complexity we haven't even touched on yet?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Think about it.
Okay.
Different cultures have different norms about relationships,
Okay.
fidelity and emotional expression. Some cultures are more open to polyamory, while others place a high value on monogamy.
Right.
Some encourage open communication about feelings, while others value stoicism.
Yeah.
All of these factors can profoundly impact how jealousy is viewed and dealt with.
That's so true.
Yeah, I've never really considered it from that perspective before. It really makes you wonder how much of our understanding of jealousy is shaped by our own cultural lens.
Right.
It's like we're all looking at it through a slightly different filter.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's something we need to be mindful of.
Yeah.
Especially when interacting with people from different backgrounds.
Right.
What might seem like a jealous overreaction in one culture could be a perfectly normal and healthy response in another.
That's a really crucial point.
It is.
We need to approach these situations with sensitivity and understanding.
Yeah.
It's all about respecting different cultural perspectives and recognizing that there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach to jealousy.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great takeaway for our listeners.
Okay.
This deep dive has shown us that jealousy is so much more nuanced and multifaceted than we often realize.
Yeah.
It's influenced by our biology, our personal experiences, our relationships, and even our cultural context.
Right.
It's not just a green-eyed monster.
No.
It's a complex emotion that can have both positive and negative consequences.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like we've taken this emotion that's often seen as taboo or something to be ashamed of, and we've really broken it down, explored its origins, its functions, and its potential impact on our lives.
Yeah.
It's been an incredibly enlightening journey.
It really has.
Yeah.
And I hope our listeners are walking away from this deep dive with a newfound understanding of jealousy, not just in their own lives, but also in the broader context of human behavior and cultural influences.
Yeah,
It's such a rich and fascinating topic,
it really is.
and there's always more to discover.
Well said.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, what would you say is the most important thing for our listeners to remember about jealousy? What's the key takeaway they can apply to their own lives?
I think the most important thing is to approach jealousy with curiosity, not judgment. When you feel that twinge of jealousy, instead of suppressing it or letting it control you, take a moment to explore it.
Okay.
Ask yourself,
Yeah.
what's triggering this feeling?
Right.
What does it tell me about my needs and desires?
Yeah.
How can I address this in a healthy and constructive way?
Okay.
And remember, you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
Jealousy is a universal human experience, and understanding it can be a powerful tool for growth, both individually and in our relationships.
That's such valuable advice.
Oh, good.
It's all about shifting our perspective from fear and shame to curiosity and a willingness to learn from our emotions.
Right.
And I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
This deep dive has been an incredible journey of discovery, and I hope our listeners are feeling just as enlightened as I am.
Wonderful.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
All right.
And remember, the conversation doesn't end here.
Oh.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions,
Yeah.
and keep diving deep into